Good morning everyone. Today we're going to do a video on how to paint an N-scale locomotive the easy way. First of all, I'll go over what you need. I've got my tools on my workbench, and you can definitely need a can of spray paint and also decals. And it's nice to have a picture of your prototype handy. That helps you for decal placement. Also, you get the accurate engine number. Oh, there's my Christmas present. So we'll do another video on that later on. So first things first, we're going to take this little GP30 apart. So now we're going to take the shell apart. There's a bunch of videos out there, and I find this tip to be very useful. Put the edge of it on the side of the box, and then turn it around, put the other side. And there you go. I'll tell you the history of this locomotive. I bought it on eBay. I bought this drive first. It's a GP35 drive and needed to be cleaned very well. So I'll do a video on cleaning pretty soon. But it runs great now. And I bought the shell separately. GP30 shell. It came complete except it has no lens for the back and no windows for the front. Doesn't matter, I'm still going to paint it nice anyways. It's going to be a lot of fun, this project. First of all, you have to take the top part out. You have to be very careful not to break these little tabs. These little tabs here actually hold the shell together very well. So I like to keep them together as much as possible. Also, you have to take the handrails out. These handrails, they come out very easy. You have to be careful not to break them, because the handrails really make the model stand out. So I started the back. Just push these in very gently. And the same thing for the front. Always check again as many times as you need to. And the front's a little bit harder to come out, but it'll be nice when it's done. So there you go. So why am I modeling at Penn Central? I live just 500 meters away from the CN main line here in Canada. I've had a lot of models, N-scale models over the years. I had a lot of New York Central, a lot of Pennsylvania models. And then I started reading about the history of Penn Central. I had Penn Central, Pennsylvania, and New York Central. So I started reading about the history and learned that they were merged together. And so now I run them all together, Pennsylvania, New York Central locomotives, and Penn Central locomotives. At the beginning, the shops didn't have time to repaint all the engines, so you would have Pennsylvania and New York Central locomotives together, and then they would start painting the Penn Central, so you would have all three together. So that is a lot of fun. So I'm taking out the couplers. They come out very easy. You could, I guess, paint with the couplers on, but they work better when they're dried. Also, you notice they're Rapido couplers, which I don't mind, because about half my freight cars are Rapido, and the other half is on, I'll bring it up closer, see if you can see it, is on micro trains. So of course I have cars that have a Rapido on one end and a micro train on the other end. So before I paint this, I'm going to take a second to clean it. All I do is I take a toothbrush, regular toothbrush, and some dish soap just to clean it. And that's going to do a world of good. I decided that I was going to paint with the cap off. It's going to look just a little bit better. Now, for those of you who have windows in your locomotives, you can take them out before you paint. Some people will just put dull coat also. Take the windows out before you do dull coat. It'll look much better that way. So now we're ready to paint. I made this little holster that I made for my engine. I made that out of junk I had lying around the house. And the one for my cab is just a couple of clothespins with half a pencil and some scotch tape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint using very light strokes, almost just mist on it. That's what you want it to look like. I'm going to keep going like this for a little while until it's shiny. Get paint on there as little as possible, because we're going to do a second coat anyways. But you want it as even as possible. We're going to let this dry for about 10 minutes, then we'll be back for a second coat. So it's always better to do 2 really light coats rather than 1 heavy one. So I'm going to come back now and do my second coat. You just want to mist it over to make it look almost like flat black. I'm going to keep going till it looks like shiny black. So as soon as it looks shiny again, make sure that you leave it alone. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to leave it alone to dry 24 hours, and then I'll be back to do my decals.